about the dangers of the egregores misery group thinking. I'm nothing to Ash, and I will present you simply the dangers of the egregores, thought form effects, or cumulative effects that consist of the spiritual warfare sabotages. So those are derived from the gregarious nefarious group thinkings made by the ignorance, condemning and sleeping souls. These are basically coordinated attacks by gathered people who splurt around misery because they cannot contain themselves. It's from the Wikipedia definition egregore, also spelled egregore, from French egrégoire, from ancient Greek în fine egregoros, wakeful, and is an occult concept representing a non-physical entity that arises from the collective thoughts of a distinct group of people. And this egregore usually can get quite nasty. For example, this is the symbol of chaos magic and of the egregore, that form that is quite black and it goes in many directions in order to attack those who carry some light or who can transmute those shadows. So basically, it's a large mass of pestilence, shadowy entities that attach to people and gradually degrade their souls and make them into parasites. Ugly parasites. And the Chaos Magic symbol was badly drawn on purpose to limit as much any effects. Also, it's not good to put it on you unless you know what intentions you have or unless you're cleansed. Else, if you put these kind of symbols, it might afflict you in bad ways and bring you even more torment because all the energy that you put in and out returns with the same intentions and even higher. Karma. Now, clearly you can see the black round mass, the toxic goo nest, to be called, of pestilence. It is formed at the center and it disperses energy outside in order to afflict. I'd say that. People who are in codependency, parasitary attachments towards other, as well as carrying other bad addictions, plus nasty envy towards other souls, tend to fabricate out of confusion, ignorance, and fear. These three, especially confusion, ignorance, and fear, because they cannot label it, they cannot block that thing in order to manipulate. Is the tendency to control by labeling it, and they try to make it in an exploitative way. And what comes after that? Some false narratives on others that are imposed because they are worthless in being kind and decent people to put some diligent work in order to thrive alone. You know, they cannot be self governing, so instead they try to exploit others to do that by using the others that are also in the similar lower form of consciousness. Basically, they are asleep exploitative parasites or misery beings. They cannot be deemed as humans at that stage. They are, let's say, some walking vessels. So let's be objective about it and reasonable. That's why they seek to steal energy, attention, time, information, and resources from those who are putting in the actual work to reveal their gang stalking misdeeds and covert attacks. And they also try to make them as their own. They try to steal anything because they cannot feel from within, so they seek from outside. And then they try to afflict also the others that produced it because the envy is still in them. So envy is a great indicator of their lacks. Thanks, envy. Even this kind of sin directs some attention on the transgressors. So be wise. Those toxic narcs, how to be called, are pathetic parasited weaklings without faith in God, basically. So they rely on prejudices, manipulation, and also naivety of others to obtain pleasure without putting or contributing with any real spiritual elevation efforts. It is simple. So you have to understand. Some people have their shortcomings, and instead of working, they seek to steal. And they cannot steal alone, so they recruit more naive people that are in misery in order to steal from those that are contributing and producing for others. Good. The next. So, these many people thinking and believing in stupid limited ideas make some results, and also results in them together foolishly creating nasty and degrading mass effects, usually around people and environments, such as littering or slandering or making too much noise when it's not the case. And these effects are gathered to harm the others that they envy. Again, envy indicates where is the problem. Thank you, envy. Effects are such as false narratives, projections towards others because they feel threatened and guilty of various abuses. So they feel very compulsive. They are compulsive clingers, infantiles of immature external blamings. Remember this. Compulsive clingers, so they will attach with infantility because they don't know what to do. So they need like a guiding figure to learn them, but because they are carrying envy and disconsideration, they can also sabotage the help that they get by being nasty and inconsiderate transgressors. So, not to be trusted, this kind of misery presences. Reminder: some souls got bullied so hard by other nasty, inconsiderate souls, such as these gangstalkers, that they have descended to the level of tormented demons or even fell souls. So basically, souls that got cursed by the ignorance, confusion, fear, and incapacity of others that afflicted them. So, if you have a problem with a person, you don't curse them, you bless them in order to be liberated. But if they start the cursing, you have to defend yourself and also to realize that if we will throw garbage to another person place, that garbage will accumulate and will come back. So be inconsiderative as much as you want, but universe or the creation sends a feedback. And these feedbacks are given by gods in order to discipline us and humble us. You might observe some historical complex characters that have some consistency, integrity, and then reputation after the integrity, who have a significant experience to fight against those type of nasty toxic minions of pestilence and depravity. So they are called masters, veterans, higher souls, old souls, empaths, light workers, shadow transmuters, and so on. But watch out as it's full of copiers, minions out there that try to look as what they are not and they not embody. Usually the vibes tell a lot. So discernment also, because you also have some clues about their demeanors. That's why they are called veteran spirits that are here with us to reveal them. Also, Jesus told us to love our enemy, basically revealing that demons are in need to be elevated with love and nature so they won't be in useless torment or confusion places out of excess of pleasures, sins, and unnecessary sufferings. And demons and humans. When humans are in such degraded ways, demons might appear in them, but the demons don't do as much as that respective souls. So it's about considering what you should do, while the temptings only indicate what you are capable to choose under pressure. And that's why character is made by admitting mistakes and redeeming them. Also, as a notice, sinners are some nasty, inconsiderate souls in incarnated bodies. Sometimes they are empty shells. would condemn usually the devil or another person for in general things that are out of control. So instead they should focus on accepting of what they have done. But they will react out of compulsiveness because they are empty shells and they are depraved and reckless and restless because there is no sleep for their wickedness and their judgment will come. But fear is not necessary as much as redeeming work, self work. Another important notice is that most demons had been scapegoats who got dumped and afflicted from the bigger masses of cretinic people, the condemners, or let's say by those who despised anything spiritual, because they would rather condemn than to understand and heal another. Also, demons found in that lower state of being would barely be able to focus to improve their lives if they formed strange patterns of dangerous pleasures. How to say it simple? Many condemners create demons, then that demons are engaged in a lower realm, and because they are in a bad environment, lower realm, the demons continue to do those kind of nasty afflictions and patterns until they get healed, because we all need healing in some times of need, and because so many choose to scapegoat other souls, that souls got degraded to a level of demonic conversion, let's say. But also that stage is temporary, and in time some will get healed who want to get healed, and the others will be crushed because judgment comes. While continuing this of the strange patterns of dangerous pleasures of demons, while also if they would try to improve, they would suddenly be cursed instead of being cleansed and blessed in order to elevate. So help each other, and if you know the name of another, don't speak bad about it, because that is the power of the tongue. Be considerate with your words, because else you would do harm to another soul, another being that is there maybe to teach you something instead of you throwing to them a nasty affliction. Karma exists also, and it will come. How to deal with them? It's simple. 5 steps. Isolate them from gathering to consume nefarious dusts or drugs, or to do wicked schemes because they are misery slanderers. So they need the group validation to do those kind of nasty things. Without group, they are worthless and they can be purged by the power of God and solitude. Then make them confess of what they have done in order for truth to liberate them. Beat them if necessary. They need to cry to spill out all of the repression out because tears cleans. Sue them and cut their credits until they have an integer, genuine character that doesn't seek interest but rather does out of duty to aid. Because if they are in high places of pleasure without contributing or providing, they will not accept the change because they will like that pleasure, they will like that comfort, and they will seek to protect their bad patterns without considering that they have to do the inner change. So their time to steal, it's gone. Then make them accountable for what they have done. Put them to judgment trials in order to work something of purpose, else they will try to steal, copy, and assess things of others as being their own. So they are disgusting, hypocritical narc thieves. Ugly. they are ugly inside. Then put them in training disciplinary camps in order to be whipped back into sanity by providing effort instead of going around depleting their nasty energy onto others as a narcissistic and egoistic cope mechanism of desolation. Because if they are not helped and put to the point to admit what they have done, they will try to afflict around all the others. So they deserved return energy, punishment, beatings that are from heaven also. So just beat them, beat them, beat them, because they deserve that. And the five that happens sometimes to those that have put in the work, they can deserve some appreciation if they repented from their old ways because God forgives, and Jesus says to forgive our enemy, and if not, else they deserve hate until they begin to confess and to also acknowledge where they have to redeem their faults. Well, this is for the wise ones, so if the false ones cannot understand that thing, well, let's say that it will be a sudden failure from their part to be part of the collective that wants to change things into better. So they are basically the evil hypocrites who don't want to admit that they need to change, and if they do not change, they will rotten and invite in them devious presences that need to be kind of cleansed and purged. And with the methods will differ in time. But no worries about that, because we will handle them gradually. And as an exclamation point sign, they made so many lakes of lamentation, those are empty tears of envy. So the lakes of lamentations are like narcissistic puddles, screeching places that they seek to use as places where they gather in order to slander others who are revealing their poor pathetic misdeeds of pestilence and sins. And now you see what is a lake of lamentation. Basically, the zone where they gather in order to be nasty instead of being proactive or going to learn something. And even sometimes they might gather with the pretext of studying something just to gather some data in order to afflict others because they continue to envy them. Oh, they are so disgusting. But anyway, their stories might be forgotten because they really didn't want it to help. But they will reincarnate maybe later or put into the lower places where they belong in order to be disciplined. Heaven exists, hell exists, a lot of dimensions exist in between also. So imagine heaven as a place of decency and order, while hell is a place of torment and proper disciplination. Both places are coordinated by God, and it's important to know that if a person doesn't deserve to be on the earth or the middle plane of existence, then it might go lower, usually, in order to be properly cared for and healed from any afflictions. We hope, but also purgatory is a great place. Some people arrive in after they have spent their time in hell to be cleansed. Have a nice day and nice night. I've been nothing to Ash, and have some decency and sometimes some peace to be yourself. See ya.